The stars twinkled in the night sky as a massive alien fleet entered the solar system. The ships were enormous, gleaming with strange colors and powerful weapons. They moved silently, cutting through space like knives. Each ship was a part of the Imperial fleet, sent by the powerful Zarnax Empire. Their mission was clear: conquer Earth and claim it for their own. As the fleet approached, the aliens sent a loud message across the galaxy. The message echoed in the minds of every human who heard it. "People of Earth! We, the Zarnax, have come to take your planet. You will bow before us or be destroyed. Surrender now, and you may keep your lives." On Earth, people were busy with their daily lives, unaware of the danger coming their way. Children played in parks, workers rushed to their jobs, and families enjoyed their dinners. But in the control room of a secret military base, scientists and generals were already receiving signals from the fleet. The tension in the room grew thick as they realized what was happening. Dr. Emily Carter, a leading scientist, stood in front of a screen showing the alien ships. She pointed at the image, her voice steady but urgent. "We have to act fast. This fleet is huge, and they seem to think we are weak. We can't let them take our planet without a fight." General Marcus Reed, a tough but wise leader, nodded. He knew the strength of humanity was not just in weapons, but in unity. "Gather, everyone. We need all hands on deck. Let's find out what we are up against and prepare our defenses." As the team worked, they connected with other military bases around the world. Messages flew back and forth, and soon, leaders from different countries joined the call. They realized they must put aside their differences and come together to protect Earth. The aliens had no idea what humanity had become after 50,000 years of progress. Meanwhile, the Zarnax fleet continued its journey toward Earth. Inside one of the massive ships, Commander Zarthax watched the blue planet grow larger on his screen. He was tall, with green skin and sharp features. His eyes sparkled with excitement. "Soon we will show these humans our power. They will fall to their knees and worship us." His crew cheered, feeling confident in their strength. They believed Earth would be an easy target, just like the many worlds they had conquered before. They laughed and boasted about their victory, not realizing how wrong they were. Back on Earth, Dr. Carter and General Reed worked tirelessly. They gathered information about the aliens, studying their ships and weapons. They learned that the Zarnax relied heavily on their technology, but they lacked knowledge of Earth's history. Humans had faced many challenges over the years, and they had grown stronger and smarter. As night turned into day, the world watched in fear and anticipation. News reports flooded in, warning people about the alien threat. Citizens began to panic, but some stood tall, refusing to let fear control them. They took to the streets, uniting to support their military. Signs reading, "We will fight and stay strong, Earth," appeared everywhere. Dr. Carter and General Reed met with the leaders of the nations in a global conference. They shared their findings and planned their next steps. "We have advanced technology," Dr. Carter said. "We can use it against them. We must be clever and strategic. We will not fight with brute force alone. We must outsmart them." The leaders agreed, knowing that humanity's best chance of survival lay in teamwork and creativity. They began to develop a plan to defend Earth, combining their resources and knowledge. As the day turned to dusk, the alien fleet was now only hours away from Earth. Commander Zarthax and his crew prepared for what they thought would be an easy victory. But on Earth, a fire of determination burned brighter than ever. Humanity was ready to show the Zarnax Empire that they were not the weak creatures they had once thought. The stage was set, and the battle for Earth was about to begin. As the alien fleet approached Earth, panic and fear spread across the planet. However, in the secret military base, a sense of urgency fueled the preparations. Dr. Emily Carter and General Marcus Reed led a diverse team of scientists, engineers, and soldiers. They knew they had to act quickly to defend their home. The control room buzzed with energy as the team gathered around a large table. A holographic map of the solar system floated above it, showing the position of the alien ships. Dr. Carter pointed to the map. "The Zarnax fleet is approaching from the outer planets. We have time to prepare, but we need to be smart about it." General Reed nodded, his eyes scanning the map. "We have advanced technology from the last 50,000 years. We need to use it to our advantage. We must figure out their weaknesses and strike before they land." One of the engineers, a young woman named Sarah, spoke up. "I've been analyzing their ship designs. They seem heavily armed but rely on their size and numbers. If we can distract them and target their communication systems, we might create confusion in their ranks. That's a brilliant idea, Dr. Carter exclaimed. If we can disrupt their communications, they won't be able to coordinate their attack. We can use drones to create false targets and draw their fire. The team worked late into the night, designing drones that would mimic human ships. They programmed the drones to make noise and move in patterns that would confuse the aliens. As they worked, a sense of determination filled the air. Each member of the team understood the stakes, and they were united in their mission. Meanwhile, across the globe, military forces from different countries joined the fight. Nations that once had conflicts set aside their differences to protect Earth. Soldiers trained hard, practicing tactics and drills. They understood they were fighting for their homes, families, and futures. In the heart of the base, a massive hangar held Earth's most advanced ships. These ships were sleek and fast, designed for agility rather than brute strength. They were equipped with powerful lasers and advanced shields, ready to defend against the alien onslaught. General Reed walked through the hangar, inspecting each ship. He spoke to the pilots, encouraging them to stay focused. We may be outnumbered, but we have something the Zarnax don't have, the will to fight for our planet. Trust your training and each other. Together we can win! As the pilots prepared their ships, Dr. Carter continued to analyze the data. She discovered something surprising about the Zarnax technology. Their weapons are powerful, but they have a delay in their targeting systems. If we can move quickly and unpredictably, we can avoid their shots and strike back. The team took this information and added it to their plan. They decided to split their forces into smaller groups to create chaos among the alien fleet. Each group would have a specific target, and they would move quickly to avoid detection. The plan required precision, bravery, and teamwork. As dawn broke, the world watched and waited. News reports continued to broadcast updates about the impending battle. Citizens gathered in parks and town squares showing their support for the military. Signs filled the streets reading "Defend Earth" and "We are strong." In the military base, the atmosphere was electric. The team gathered for a final briefing before the battle. Dr. Carter stood in front of her colleagues, her voice steady. Today, we fight not just for ourselves, but for everyone on this planet. We have trained hard, and we know what we must do. Trust in each other, and we will prevail. The team cheered, feeling a surge of hope. They understood that their unity was their greatest strength. As they took their positions and boarded their ships, they felt ready to face the alien threat. Meanwhile, the Zarnax fleet, confident in their superiority, prepared to launch their invasion. Commander Zarthax paced on his flagship, believing the battle would be easy. He could not fathom the strength and determination that humanity had developed over the millennia. As the two sides prepared for their fateful clash, the universe held its breath. The stage was set, and the battle for Earth was about to begin. The day had finally arrived. The skies above Earth darkened as the massive Zarnax fleet drew closer. The alien ships hung like shadows, ready to unleash their power. On the ground, the atmosphere was tense. Soldiers and pilots prepared themselves for the battle of their lives. They were ready to defend their home, but fear lingered in the air. In the control room of the military base, Dr. Emily Carter and General Marcus Reed monitored the situation closely. The holographic map displayed the alien fleet, with blips indicating their movements. "They're getting into position," Dr. Carter said, her eyes fixed on the screen. "We need to launch our drones now to create a distraction." General Reed nodded. "Get the pilots ready. We have to move fast." The team sprang into action, their training kicking in as they initiated the launch sequence for the drones. As the drones shot into the sky, they made loud noises, mimicking the sounds of human ships. The alien fleet responded immediately. Commander Zarthax watched in disbelief as the drones danced around his ships. "What are those?" "They're not real targets," he shouted. But it was too late. The Zarnax ships began firing at the drones, and chaos erupted within their ranks. In the midst of the confusion, human pilots took to the skies in their advanced ships. The sleek vessels zoomed into action, weaving through the fire from the alien ships. Pilot Mia Chen, known for her bravery, led her squadron into battle. "Stick close, everyone! We need to take down their communication systems!" she shouted over the comms. As the human ships approached the alien fleet, the Zarnax began to regroup. Commander Zarthax barked orders, trying to regain control. "Focus your fire on those small ships. We cannot let them disrupt our mission." Mia and her team dodged laser blasts as they flew low and fast. They targeted the alien ship's communication towers, knowing that disabling them was crucial for victory. One by one, they fired their weapons, hitting their targets with precision. The explosions lit up the dark sky, sending shockwaves through the Zarnax fleet. Back on the ground, Dr. Carter and General Reed watched the battle unfold. "The drones are working! The Zarnax are confused!" Dr. Carter exclaimed. "But we need to keep up the pressure. Let's deploy our ground troops to support the air attack." General Reed nodded, feeling the adrenaline rush through him. "Activate the ground forces! They must take out any alien troops that land." As the ground troops advanced, they moved swiftly, armed with powerful weapons. Soldiers worked together, covering each other as they pushed forward. The aliens had begun to land on Earth, and humanity was ready to fight back. Suddenly, a squad of alien soldiers disembarked from their ships, their green skin gleaming in the sunlight. They were tall and fierce, equipped with advanced weapons. The humans stood their ground, forming a defensive line. "We won't let them take our planet!" shouted Sergeant Alex Rodriguez, leading the charge. The two sides clashed violently. Laser beams flew through the air as soldiers fought with everything they had. The aliens were strong, but the humans were determined. Each side suffered losses, but the human spirit shone brightly. Mia, still flying above the chaos, spotted a larger alien ship preparing to attack her ground troops. "I have to take it down!" she yelled, diving towards the ship. With expert precision, she aimed her weapon and fired. The blast hit the ship, causing it to explode in a brilliant fireball. "Nice shot, Mia!" Her squad mates cheered, their spirits lifting as they saw the alien ship go down. But the battle was far from over. The Zarnax fleet was regrouping, and their commander was furious. "We cannot lose to these insignificant creatures," Zarthax shouted. He ordered his remaining ships to focus their fire on the human pilots, determined to crush the uprising. The air was filled with the sounds of explosions and cries of battle. Humanity was fighting with every ounce of strength, refusing to give in. As the sun began to set, the sky was painted with the colors of war, flashes of light from lasers and the smoke of explosions. In the control room, Dr. Carter and General Reed exchanged worried glances. "We need to gain the upper hand now, or we risk losing everything," Dr. Carter said, her voice filled with urgency. General Reed nodded, his resolve strong. "We will fight to the end. We are humans, and we will not back down." The battle for Earth had truly begun, and the outcome remained uncertain. But one thing was clear: humanity would fight fiercely to protect their home. The battle raged on, and the sky above Earth was a chaotic mix of fire and smoke. The Zarnax fleet was relentless, and their ships continued to bombard human defenses. However, amidst the chaos, hope began to flicker among the human fighters. They had shown bravery, but they needed a way to turn the tide in their favor. In the control room, Dr. Emily Carter and General Marcus Reed were deep in discussion. "We need to disrupt their main ship," Dr. Carter said urgently. "If we can take out their flagship, it could demoralize the rest of their fleet. They won't know how to react without their leader." General Reed nodded, his eyes narrowing as he considered the plan. "Mia, Alex, and the top pilots can coordinate an attack. If we can distract the other ships while they target the flagship, we might have a chance." As they finalized the strategy, Mia Chen, still in her cockpit, listened intently to the commands over the radio. "I'm in," she said, adrenaline pumping through her veins. "Let's show them what we're made of." Mia gathered her squadron, and they quickly formulated a plan. They would create a diversion, drawing the fire of the Zarnax ships away from the flagship. With precision and teamwork, they took to the skies once more. "On my mark, we break right," Mia instructed her squadron. "We'll give them a target they can't ignore." As the pilots executed their plan, they flew in tight formations, zipping through the battlefield. The Zarnax ships focused on the buzzing human fighters, firing their powerful lasers. But the humans were nimble, evading the blasts with expert maneuvers. While the Zarnax were distracted, Mia and her team began to peel away toward the flagship. The massive Zarnax ship loomed in the distance, surrounded by smaller vessels. "There it is! Let's hit it hard!" Mia shouted, her heart racing. Meanwhile, on the ground, Sergeant Alex Rodriguez led his troops to push back against the alien forces. They were outnumbered but not outmatched. With each alien they defeated, the soldiers grew more confident. "Keep pushing forward! We can't let them take our ground," he yelled, rallying his team. As the human troops advanced, the Zarnak soldiers began to falter. They were unprepared for the determination and spirit of humanity. The sight of their comrades falling to the humans' fierce resolve began to sow doubt among the Zarnak's ranks. Back in the sky, Mia and her squadron finally reached the flagship. "We're in position," Mia called out. "Let's hit them with everything we've got." They unleashed a barrage of lasers, striking the flagship's exterior. The Zarnak's crew inside the ship scrambled to defend themselves. Alarms blared as the ship shook from the attacks. "They are attacking! Prepare to counter!" Commander Zarthax shouted, his anger rising. But the chaos inside the flagship made it hard to mount a proper defense. As the humans pressed their attack, they saw a critical weakness in the flagship's shields. "They're vulnerable! Aim for the weak point," Mia directed her squadron, focusing their fire on the exposed area. With each shot, the flagship trembled, and finally, with a tremendous explosion, it began to break apart. The Zarnak's crew inside were thrown into disarray. The sight of their flagship in flames sent a shockwave of fear throughout the entire fleet. On the ground, Sergeant Rodriguez watched as the flagship exploded. "Look! They're losing control!" he shouted to his soldiers. Inspired by the news, the human troops charged forward with renewed energy. "Now is our time to fight!" The tide was turning. The Zarnaks, once confident in their strength, now began to retreat, unsure and fearful. The humans pressed the advantage, pushing the alien forces back. In the control room, Dr. Carter and General Reed exchanged glances filled with hope. "We can win this," General Reed said, his voice steady. "The Zarnaks are faltering. We just need to keep the pressure on them." With the flagship destroyed, the human fighters and ground troops rallied together. They fought with everything they had, driven by the belief that they were defending their home and future. As the battle continued, the sounds of war shifted. The alien forces, once so sure of victory, were now scrambling to regroup. The human spirit had shown them the true strength of humanity, a force that would not yield easily. As night fell, the sky lit up with the fires of battle. But amidst the chaos, a new sense of unity emerged among the human fighters. They were no longer just individuals, they were a force united for survival. And together, they would fight to ensure that Earth remained theirs. The battle had ended, and the sky above Earth was now filled with a soft, golden light as the sun began to rise. The remnants of the Zarnak's fleet floated in the atmosphere, their once mighty ships now shattered and broken. Humanity had triumphed against the alien invaders, but the cost of victory was still fresh in their hearts. On the ground, the battlefield was filled with both debris and hope. Soldiers tended to their wounded comrades, while others began to clear away the wreckage of the alien ships. Sergeant Alex Rodriguez stood among his team, looking around at the devastation. "We did it, everyone," he said, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "We defended our home, but let's not forget those we lost. We owe it to them to build a better future." Dr. Emily Carter and General Marcus Reed surveyed the scene from the command center. They watched as the last remnants of the Zarnak's fleet retreated into the distance. "It's finally over," Dr. Carter said, her voice filled with relief. "But we need to ensure that we are prepared for any future threats." General Reed nodded. "We should use this moment to unite. The world needs to come together after this battle. We've seen what we can accomplish when we fight as one." As news of the victory spread across the globe, people began to gather. Cities that had once been scared and divided now united in celebration. In every corner of the world, humans rejoiced, honoring their heroes and remembering the fallen. Mia Chen stood atop a hill looking out over her hometown. The view was both beautiful and haunting, with the sun shining brightly, but remnants of the battle still visible. "We have so much to rebuild," she said softly, reflecting on the lives changed by the conflict. "But we can do it together." A small group of fellow pilots joined her, their faces filled with both pride and sadness. "We showed them that we are strong," one of them said, patting her on the back. "But it's not just about strength. It's about heart and spirit." As the day went on, the world began to heal. People worked together to clear the debris and support one another. Those who had lost family and friends found solace in community. In schools, children learned about the bravery displayed by their parents and heroes. They shared stories of courage that would inspire future generations. Meanwhile, back in the command center, General Reed and Dr. Carter organized a meeting with leaders from around the world. They knew that it was crucial to establish a united front. "We must share our knowledge and technology," Dr. Carter said. "This will help ensure that we are prepared for any future invasions." "We cannot let this happen again." Leaders from different countries listened intently, understanding the importance of collaboration. They agreed to share their resources and work together on defense strategies. "Together we can build a stronger Earth," one leader declared. "We have seen the consequences of division. Now is the time for unity." As discussions continued, news of the humans' victory reached the Zarnak's home planet. The leaders there were shocked by the outcome. They had underestimated humanity's resolve and strength. Commander Zarthax, who had once believed Earth would be easily conquered, was now faced with a new reality. "We will not forget this day," he vowed. "Humans have proven to be a formidable foe. We must prepare for our next move." Back on Earth, Mia and her fellow pilots stood together looking at the horizon. "What do you think the future holds for us?" one asked, breaking the silence. Mia smiled. "I think we have the chance to build something amazing. We've fought hard, and now we can create a world where we are united. We've shown that we can work together to achieve great things." As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the people of Earth began to imagine a new beginning. They had faced darkness and emerged victorious. Together, they would rebuild, learn, and grow stronger. The battle was over, but the journey was just beginning. With hope in their hearts and determination in their souls, humanity looked towards a future filled with possibilities. No longer would they be divided. They had learned the true power of unity, and together they would face whatever challenges lay ahead.